So we have a number of questions for today. When someone confronts you with negative things, is it better to comment or is it better to detach and not say anything? When someone confronts you with something negative, maybe let's get into this question by extrapolating a little bit on what is it all about. Negative things, that means something that makes you unhappy. What kind of negation, what kind of negative things that make you unhappy? Let's trace it. In other words, whenever a certain environment comes out to you, a certain object comes out to you, you ask the question. Ask that very simple question. Whenever something happens to you, when something originates that is negative and it triggers something and gets into your mind, you ask yourself a question, where does that come from? Or for example, he is yelling at you with some bad language. Where does that yelling come from? From emptiness. Why? He yelled at me because I didn't wash those dishes properly last night, because I was hurrying to finish my homework, and then somehow I had a habit of not cleaning it well, and somehow this or somehow that. There's so many reasons for his yelling at you. But every one single one of this reason is sunyata. What does that mean? Is emptiness. That means every one of this reason is without its real nature. It's on causation. It's because of certain conditions that make that conditions come true. So in other words, every happening is depending on causation. Many, many things add together to build up until they finalize into a vehement comment from him. But that language, that yelling, and every reason of this is without its nature. It's not real. It's conditionals. And if I get attracted by that kind of unreal, impermanent, without self-nature causality, I'm not wise enough, because I respond to something that is impermanent. I respond to something, to an object, using my emotional mind. And then I can continue to act on it. I may get all my face red. I may get agitated. My hormones run through me. My agitation hormones run through me. I got fast heartbeat. I want to yell back. I want to bang the table. Because what? Because you are reacting to that negative attitude. You're reacting to something that is unreal. What is something that we call real? Something that is permanent, something that has its self-nature. But you're not. What he talks about, what he mentions is something that arises out of the blue. It may not be justified. It may be justified. If it is justified, it means because of my mistakes. So okay, it's my mistake. Okay, you yell at me because of my mistake. I'll improve next time. I won't get angry because conditions have it come true that it's because of my mistake that the dishes were not washed properly. So okay, I'm sorry. I'll wash it again. So you should react with something that is smiling, that is not even hurting you. On the other hand, you could react in a vehement way. You want to be angry. How come you're talking to me like that? You're reacting to something unreal. It's not worth it. Don't react to somebody else's mental afflictions and increasing yours. However, you don't react. Reaction is attached with emotion. You can respond to it though. It would be foolish if you don't respond to it. If somebody yell at you, you play that you are dumb and you just walk away, then he get more angry at you. You don't react to it. You respond with rationality. You respond with your right mind, not with your left mind. Your left mind is absolutely egoistic. Your left mind is so biased on that person. Your left mind is so helpful to yourself but not to that person. You respect with the right mind. You respond with the right mind. With the right mind, with the rationality mind. So, first of all, when something happens like that, don't react to it immediately. A good meditator would just calm down and see how his first thought react. See, if I'm a good meditator, I've been going to Reverend Guan Cheng's meditation class every Saturday for 10 years now, and now you're yelling at me. Oh no, I got to stand back a little. I don't want to react now. I want to stand back and look at your comment. So you don't react with agitation, with excitement. You look back and say, oh, I shouldn't get mad. I shouldn't react to it. I should respond to it. So you say, oh, I'm sorry. I would do that, I would do this. And it's all pacified. Respond with compassion. When you respond with compassion, the whole deal is different. You switch this sad movie into a good side. So you ask me, is it better to comment or is it better just not to say anything? If you don't say anything, if you roll your movie reel with a silent movie, you'll get more mad. What are you doing? You're not listening. You're ignoring me. You think you're clever by not talking about it? Is that what you learned from Reverend Guan Cheng? You just walk away? Many people have chosen to go back to the 1930s when there were silent movies. No sound. You get the guy more mad because that's out of date. You can only apply that in the 1930s, not now.
Sorry, Venerable.
Yeah?
I have a question in regard to that question. It seems that more ignorant we are, we see more negativity from outside. We see more attack toward ourselves. And
Yeah.
more practicing and more meditation, seems that even we don't encounter those negativity that we used to see.
Yes.
Could it be true?
That's true. The other day I read a book which reinforced my thinking. And as I told you, that book I recommend to you to read is A Stroke of Insight. And when I'm not studying, when I'm not talking, I like to read. That Stroke of Insight says, there's a mind with the alaya consciousness at peace, and that is a mind of purification, trying to always in the process of purifying. So if you're meditating, if you're always reading the Buddha sutras and contemplating on it, actually you are strengthening your right mind. If you continue to do that, because every day we're strengthening most all the time and operating with the left mind. And many scientists, I've heard from many scientists that I come across, and they always told me, science have only studied about 10% of the functionality of the brain. We only know about 10% of what happens in our brain. All the other 90% we don't know, is unknown. And more they discover that it's the right mind that leads us to enlightenment. Sometimes, even if your left mind is distorted in a stroke, your right mind can enrich it and try to give a healing effect to the left mind. So that means if you're always meditating, if you're always thinking about the Buddhist teaching, if you're always compassionate, you're actually enriching your right mind. And in the Theravada school, when they talk about consciousnesses, they only have 6 consciousnesses. The eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, and the body. And the 6th one is the manas consciousness, which is the hidden mind. That mana consciousness is the right mind. So yes, if you always practice meditation, if you compassionate, if you follow the Buddhist teaching, that's the reason why the Buddha is always giving you all the training, giving you contemplation and visualizations, and all descriptions in the sutras are telling us to train up the right mind, to go into that enlightenment, nirvana path. So if you come across any negative outside intrusion into your senses, You see, every second, your senses are being intruded. Do you know about that? Every second, timeless, all our senses are intruded by environmental objects. When I'm looking at you, you're within my eyesight. I listen to you, I taste my food, I touch body, touch tactile, everything. You're in contact with, your senses are in contact with the objects. When your sense organs are in contact of objects, this contact, what arises? You tell me. Consciousness arises. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness. When your consciousness arises, what is this consciousness? Is it a real thing? No. Because this only consciousness only arises when your eyes see that object and I pay attention to it. That object is not guilty. Say, if I am a woman and if I saw a handsome guy, a big, tall, handsome, masculine guy coming in, I'm a lady, and I saw that, and if some certain idea rises in mind, reminding me of certain desires driven to have that desires, the object is not guilty. The object is not guilty. The object itself is not guilty. It's just when your sense organ is in contact with that object, when that consciousness arises, that consciousness becomes the guilty guy, because it's looking for sexual desire, for example, a greediness desire, or any kind of desires, because of that consciousness arises. But it does not matter whether it's the sense organs, the consciousness, or the objects. They're out of the mind. So they always have meditations that really give you a lot of help. And also, there may be something that you may not know at this stage. If you continue to tap into the right mind, you get into wonders. You may open a door that's full of so much treasure in it that you never dream of. There's supernatural powers in there. There's all kinds of wisdom in there. Something that we don't even know. You think that you open a treasure box of diamonds, but that is something that is beyond materials. They're so high level. It's prajna paramita. It's the highest wisdom level. A wisdom level that leads you to ultimate joy. Not just your $1 billion of money and possessions.
Yeah, I just wondered what's useful to take to that kind of work.
So when you are a volunteer at a hospice care, and first of all, it's very commendable for you to be a volunteer at a hospice care. Some people get scared when they see dying patients. They don't want to go. Lots of people don't want to work in hospice care because every day they are seeing dying people. But there are some kind people who are even holding the dying patient's hands. When they're dying, there's some patients, they don't have relatives. Nobody come to visit them. And there are volunteers who are holding their hands, giving the soothing touch, and tell them that they calm down and all that. And that's really a commendable behavior of the volunteers. That's very good. Anyway, if you are in a hospice care volunteers, I think what you need to do is to make sure that the dying patients have the intention to depart from this world. They have to let go of everything. They have to let go of their clingings to this world. Otherwise, they can't leave the body. Okay, I let go of this world. This is a world of suffering. I had enough. I've been lying in bed like a vegetation for 1 year already. I'm dying. There's no point for me to keep on. I want to go. That's the first step. He has to let go. The second step, you've got to let him know is where to go. You let go of this world, but where are you going? He has to go to the Pure Land, the land of happiness, the land of bliss. Teach him how to chant Namo Amitofo. Namo Amitofo, Namo Amitofo, Namo Amitabha, the same. Namo Amitayas, the Buddha of immeasurable light, Buddha of immeasurable life, and vow to go there after death. Build up that concentration, that there's a Buddha there waiting for him, the dying patients. He's willing to receive you into that land where you'll be all happy all the time, where you learn to be the Buddha, where you don't have any more suffering. No more suffering there. And everybody will have equality in there. Try to introduce. That's the reason why when you come to the class now, I'm talking on Amitabha Sutra, it's a very good time, because then you know some more about Amitabha. A description of the Pure Land, how it looks like, how to qualify yourself in going there, how to train your mind in getting to go to the land of bliss. So all this learning, try to pursue in this learning. Try to know about it, to completely master a knowledge of how to qualify, build up qualifications so that you can go to Pure Land. Once you master that, you know that yourself, you do meditation also, visualization also on the Buddha, then once you know about that, and you work in the hospital care, you're a different volunteer. So we have to have, every Buddhist have to have a mission. That mission must be a strong drive for you to work harder to benefit all these sentient beings. In your mission, you can say, David, David, I want to be a good volunteer at the hospital care. I want to make sure that in my next year, 2014, I want to see at least 10 dying patients to show me indication that they will be reborn in the Pure Land. Can you do that? That's a mission. 10 dying patients. You want to make sure that 10 dying patients, after they die, they won't roll into the next path of reincarnation. They will reborn in the Pure Land. I'm just giving you 10. I could have given you 20. So just give, that's your homework. Easy homework, 10 people. I remember my first year of education at Toronto. I make myself a mission. I want to bring 100 people to that temple so that they will listen to the Dharma lecture. And every person I brought there, I put his name down. And at the end of the year, I get more than 100. And sometimes it's just a phone call. Oh, Mr. So-and-so, right now there's a lecture going on there. It's very good. So I become a good salesman telling them why should they go. If you don't know how to get there, you wait for me in the bus stop and I show you how to go there. So I really try. I tried it out. I walk my path. I make a vow that I want to bring 100 people to that temple to listen to the Dharma. And can you make a vow that you want to influence 10 patients or more so that they can go to the Pure Land? If you do that all the time, you yourself, because you're reinforcing yourself, you actually are reinforcing yourself when you're reinforcing others. They're highly beneficial for you. Get into the study of Sukhavati Vyuha, magnificent display of the land of bliss, Sutra of Amitabha. That's a mission for you. 2014. Are you willing to accept that? Are you willing to accept that? Only 10 people. How many dying patients in hospital care? Yeah, usually. Many, right? Oh, what you're doing is wonderful. First of all, you're not afraid of dying people. Then you can build up a lot of merits in doing that. If you work hard, you are paving your own way to the Pure Land. You're saving a lot of people. You have a potential to save a lot of people so that they don't reincarnate in the next suffering cycle. Are you willing to do that? Don't just shake your hand, put it in your agenda. In your 2014 agenda. You understand?
I understand.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so any other volunteers in hospital care? I know you are in hospital care.
Most of them are Christian.
It does not matter. Most of them are Christian. If most of them are Christians, first of all, tell them to let go. Okay? And then tell them that concentrate on going to heaven. And then they will say, oh yeah, I'll go to heaven. And then there's another professor in heaven waiting for you. Do you know that? Other than Jesus? Who is that professor? I know him. That's Amitabha. And if you chant his name all the time, he's doing the same work as Jesus is doing. So if you chant his name, then you'll be going over there. Do you mind if I give you his name? So he will follow your instructions because you're so kind to him and you know that professor there. You understand? There's so many ways of working it out. So many ways. Next question. How is the Buddha, Jesus Christ, similar? What is the connection between them? Oh, so this leads to the next question. You see, whenever questions come to me, sometimes I look at them, sometimes I don't. In this case, I never look at that, but Jesus Christ come up. They are similar in certain ways and not similar in certain ways. And as I said, as I mentioned just now, I have been talking for a few weeks on the Sutra of Sukhavati Vyuha, which is another name for the Sutra of Amitabha. And this Amitabha's Pure Land, or the land of happiness, is quite analogous to other religions' heaven concept. In heaven, there is a God. In other religions, there's a God, and after you die, you go to the heaven where you always have happiness. Now, the land of bliss of Amitabha's land of bliss is the same. If you want to use a different word, you can say Amitabha is a God in there. Okay, if you want to use that word, sometimes word doesn't really mean a lot. It's just a means of understanding. So Amitabha, if you want to say it, it's a God. That land of bliss is heaven. And right now you're worshiping God, worshiping Amitabha. You're building up your faith in Amitabha. You're building up your faith in going to that land. So it's similar, the heaven concept. You're chanting Jesus Christ to go to the heaven. You always remember Jesus to go to heaven. You always remember Amitabha to go to heaven. But right there could be some differences. Amitabha said you have to qualify yourself, not just believing in a heaven and wanting to go there. You have to pave your way. You have to do your homework, not just an empty belief. I believe in heaven, then when I die, I will go to heaven. I believe in heaven, but then I can kill, I can lie, I can commit sexual misconduct, and then if I committed those bad deeds, and I say, forgive me, Jesus, and then I'll go to heaven. That's not true. You really have to do some homework to purify yourself, to qualify yourself to go to heaven. That you have to listen to the Buddha's teaching. You prepare yourself. In order to go to a destination, if I tell somebody to go to a destination, I say, okay, Sonny, you want to go to destination A, you got to take this. You're going to take your knapsack, you're going to take your distilled water, 7 bottles of distilled water, 1 for each day, take some biscuits, just in case you need some food, an orange or an apple, put all your stuff in that knapsack, put it on your back, and you walk step by step in there. You need something. You need requisite to go there. On the other hand, if they say, okay, go to that destination, just go there. There's a destination waiting for you. He didn't tell you to bring anything. You just walk, you get starved, you die on the way. You don't know. But on the other hand, in that knapsack, you got medicines, but you don't bring medicine. You get bitten by a snake, you're dead. But in there, you got medicines to heal. So it's different. It tells, it paves you the way to go there. So it's similar, it's also different. The connection between them, don't try to differentiate, they're all the same. Try to study the sutra first, and then you'll know more about it. How can one keep an open heart and mind when surrounded by others that are opposite? Can you think them as not opposite, but synonyms? They're the same. They just have different attitude. They just have different reasons and causalities. Don't treat them as if they're different from you. The other day, a disciple called from Hong Kong 2 nights ago. Here's a nun, and she told me, right now I'm organizing the lectures for another organizations in our temple, And these organizations, they are Buddhist, but they want to rent our place. So, Venerable Master, should I rent that place? I said, well, go on. And what else you want to tell me? He said, I received some phone calls talking about this lecture that they organize in renting our place to organize it. And they asked, is it about the same lecture as your organization? And of course I tell them, no, that organization is different. We have nothing to do with them. What they talk about may not be what we talk about. They're different. And right away I said, you've got to change your tone. You've got to change your attitude. If you're willing to rent out your premises to another Buddhist organization, of course, you want to rent it out to someone who is talking about Buddhism and not talking about other faith. Once you confirm on that, you don't act as if he is your opposite. You don't act as if he's different. He's not as good as you. When you look at people, don't look at their demerits. Don't look at their faults. Don't always try to find faults with people. Trying to find defects with people. He's always like that, and he didn't like me. And last time he talked about these things, and he hated me. You're always creating animosity within you. Be compassionate. Don't treat them as opposite. Okay, next, having difficulty just responding and not reacting to situation. What can I do in a moment? First of all, don't get agitated. Calm down and look at it. Calm down and look at the situation. There's always a saying in the Chinese language that you may use that in your mind. I have to talk in Chinese first before I translate it. 山峰本不动，白云自驱来。I'm the mountain that is irremovable. I won't go with the clouds. I won't drift with the clouds. So I'm the mountain in here, and there are clouds coming by all the time. Black clouds, dirty clouds, pure clouds. And every time when the clouds come and pass by, I'm not going to go by the clouds. I'm not going to follow him. I'm not going to follow the clouds. I won't be affected by you. I let you drift. I won't say kill the clouds. Stop the clouds. Spit on the clouds. You can't do that. You just let it drift by. You just let the negative attitudes drift by. Don't kill them. It's not in your power, it's not in your compassion to kill your enemies. It's not in your choice to kill the enemies because it's not right. But it's your choice not to follow your enemies. Every mental affliction is your enemy. Don't follow the mental affliction. If you all of a sudden are depressed, you're not happy, don't follow your unhappiness. Detach from it. Assuming one gets out of cycle of life and death when karma is balanced, could it be possible one couldn't get out as a result of many good karma? Bad karmas get you into reincarnations because it creates karmic energy. Good karma also get you into reincarnations. Good karma would get you to heaven. But this heaven, once you finish all the karmic energy in there, it will drop down in another part of the reincarnations again. Good karma would qualify you to go to the meritorious realms in heaven or as humans again. Bad karma would get you down to hell, to animal realms. So the Buddha said, purify yourself. No good and no bad. Go beyond good and bad. If you go bad, that's really terrible. If you do good, you have good causality, but that's still not the ultimate way to go. Even the good has to go. The bad, of course, you don't commit bad. Even the good has to go. But you continue to do good, though. You continue to do good, but you don't attach to the goodness of it. Here comes a cloud that says goodness, healthy, prosperity, money, reputation, all kinds of good things drift by. That's because you attracted those clouds in your good karma. But you don't follow them. They're going and going and going. You say, oh, these are good karmas, good clouds. I'm following the good clouds. Then you're in trouble. Let them come and let them go. You're not moved by it. You're the mountain that is irremovable. You're the mountain that is always static in there. You don't want to move. No one can move you. Insurmountable. But you let all those come by, drift. Don't kill them. Don't stop them. Don't yell at them. Just let them come and go. So I let these questions come. Now I let them go. Okay, fine noise.